The district attorney of Fulton County, Fani Willis, has announced that charging decisions for Donald Trump and the multifaceted plot to potentially do something about the results of the election in Georgia could be coming out between July 11th and September 1st. So mark your calendars, stuff's about to get real potentially. Now, why the delay? If you know what the decision is going to be, why not just do it right now? Well, we don't necessarily know that they've made decisions on charging, let alone the specific details of it. But also, she said that they need time to set up heightened security, specifically that there is likely to be a public reaction, while much of it might just be demonstrations or protests. It's possible that some of it could lead to acts of violence that will endanger the safety of our community. The Atlanta Police Department have confirmed that they've been speaking with the district attorney and that they are prepared to do whatever it takes to secure the area in anticipation of the announcement. Now, to be clear, preparing for a security response doesn't mean that you're definitely going to have charges against Donald Trump or even necessarily charges against anybody, because it's possible that they could be charges, but not against Trump himself. But it's hard to imagine that they seriously think that not charging Trump will lead to liberals tearing the place asunder. So to me, this seems like an indication that charges are coming. And I would imagine that they're charges against Trump if they're worried about wide scale violence. Again, a lot of this is sort of speculation at this point still, but we are moving closer to this date. What do you think?
I think you're right. I think there will be charges against Trump. I'm just a little disappointed because Fani Willis had told the court, I think it was 6 to 8 weeks ago, that something was imminent. That the grand jury, when she delivered that sort of initial grand jury report. So I thought, okay, imminent means by the end of the spring that there'll be some sort of indictment. For her to now say, well, sometime over the summer, is a bit sort of disappointing. I think what it does, however, is it feels like the federal special counsel investigation into the Mar-a-Lago documents with Jack Smith, that seems to be moving along rapidly. And there's some indications that maybe Jack Smith actually moves forward with his indictment against Trump for the mishandling of classified documents, obstruction of justice, perjury, all that, perhaps in the next 60 days. If that happens, then you're looking at Jack Smith and the federal trial for the Mar-a-Lago documents possibly being in 2024, and maybe even faster than the Alvin Bragg New York indictment because of all the various issues with the constitutional questions and pretrial questions that have to be decided. So in terms of which one comes first, which one might start to interfere with the 2024 calendar, I think now you're looking at the possibility of this Mar-a-Lago thing leapfrogging the others, in part because Georgia seems to be taking so long.
Yeah, I think that the timeline you laid out makes a lot of sense. I almost wouldn't really mind so much because that way at least we would continue to have an upward arc of how I at least consider the seriousness of the different investigations. I don't know, it depends on if it's just the documents or if we also get January 6th. I mean, that's obviously very serious, but yeah, saying it's imminent and then pushing it back many months, it's imminent on the timeline of like Treebeard the Ent, but for humans, no. Like either something changed, maybe they got new information that caused them to have to, like go back over things, or maybe she had jumped the gun to begin with. Maybe it is that something about the ongoing New York case and the reaction to that maybe modified things. I don't know. All of this is wild speculation. I'm on the edge of my seat almost literally to find out though, because that call to Georgia, let alone now we're finding out about text messages as well. I mean, you can't have the president doing stuff like that. I don't know why we have to try to convince the right that it's unacceptable for a president to call up and say, I need you to find me X number of votes. It seems like this is the wildly smoking gun. But I guess the case still needs to be made, and so I wait that case.
I agree with you. I mean, the smoke is just billowing out of that in terms of the smoking gun. But in terms of calls, here's one that I would be curious to ask Fani Willis. Has she made a call to Jack Smith? Because it's not unusual for a local prosecutor to defer to a federal investigation if they're both on roughly the same timeline. So I wonder, is it possible that Fani Willis is saying, okay, we're not gonna have anything now, maybe until the summertime, because maybe she's either been tipped off or told by Jack Smith, hey, we got a federal indictment coming soon. I want the federal case to go first. And usually prosecutors will defer to a federal investigation in terms of the timing of things. So, but we'll see.
Yeah, we very much will. So everyone stay tuned. If you think that we're gonna let any of those details go by without covering them on the Damage Report, you haven't been watching the Damage Report long. So all of that is coming up.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.